Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and having learned a few things through human interactions and having pursued masters in business administration and clinical psychology, I today would like to talk about wealth. So generally, when we talk about wealth, almost all of us invariably think about financial wealth first. We think about money first. And of course, there are a few people who would also say that health is wealth. Now, once again, when we think of that quote, we kind of naturally veneer towards physical health. Emotional and mental well being does not come into the first narrative, or at least the first visual narrative, when we first say health, when we talk about wealth. And then there are relatively fewer people who would go on to say that your energy and your time is your wealth. So I'd come across a few lines that talked about 5 kinds of wealth, and more importantly, how we prioritize and maybe to a degree compromise a few of those wealths. So, in keeping with those lines, these are the 5 kinds of wealth. Financial wealth equals money. Social wealth comprises of our status, of our social status, the image that the world perceives about us, and to a degree, we also perceive and project about ourselves with regards to our social status. The next kind of wealth that it talked about was time wealth. And interestingly, in keeping with the thoughts of those lines, time wealth equals freedom. And in a way, what I understood from that was, do you have the first say, or at least the second say, most days of your life with regards to how and where you spend your time? And to a degree, it's one of those resources that cannot be bought by money, at least if we associate time with life and even with death. So, time wealth associating with freedom. Do we truly have say over our time, the way we utilize it, how we utilize it, where we utilize it? Or other people have more say over our time and thereby quite likely to an extent over our life and our death as well. The next wealth that was talked about was physical wealth, and that was being associated with physical health, with physical fitness. So, how well do we feel in our being, in our physical being? And in a way, it's talking about us being dis-ease free, invariably implying that we are not at dis-ease within ourselves and within our interaction with our environment. We are not at dis-ease within our personal and our interpersonal interactions. And the last kind of wealth that it talked about was mental wealth, mental well being, invariably implying peace of mind. Mind, man ki shanti, man mein shanti. And of course, we can experience peace of mind when we have a harmonious relationship with ourselves, within ourselves, and within our interpersonal relationships. When there is lesser distress or fewer distressing factors in both of those aspects of our lives. And then the thought continued with the lines containing this profound message. Be careful of people and things that lure you of the first two. That is financial wealth, money, and social wealth, that is status, and rob you of the balance 3. We can even use the word deplete rather than rob. So, rob or deplete you of the balance 3. The balance 3 being freedom, health, and peace of mind. So, let's think about that once again. Be careful of people and things who lure you into money and status and rob you / deplete you of your freedom, health, and peace of mind. And in a way, this message is once again telling us, is once again reiterating and re emphasizing the fact that we are social creatures. That as much as we'd like to shape our environment and our interpersonal interactions, as much as we'd like to influence them, explicitly and implicitly, knowingly and unknowingly, our interpersonal interactions, our social interactions, are also shaping us, are also forming our beliefs, are also constructing our mindsets, are also having an impact on our freedom, on our health, and our mind, our peace of mind. And over here, when I talk about peace, I'm talking about both the kind of peace, PIECE peace and PEACE peace. This message is also asking us to reflect that have we compromised on the other three kinds of wealth to a large degree in order to sustain the other two wealths. It's also asking us to reflect knowingly or unknowingly. What have we prioritized or what have we been taught to prioritize in keeping with those five kinds of wealths? To a degree, it's once again telling us that we are the sum total of all of our interactions, not just through the usage of our words, through the interexchange of our words, but we are also the sum total of all of our interactions with regards to our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, our physical touch, and our belief systems. We are the sum total of all of our interactions throughout our lifetime. Some of them chosen consciously and many of them chosen subconsciously. Some of them engaged in consciously and many of them engaged in subconsciously and unconsciously. So we are what we surround ourselves with, what we engage with, or what surrounds us and engages with us, both explicitly and implicitly, both knowingly and unknowingly, both deliberately and non deliberately. And so, the more we reflect on that, the more we'll be able to understand what kind of wealth have we prioritized mostly in our lives. What kind of wealth accumulation has mostly taken space in our lives, knowingly or unknowingly? What wealths, knowingly or unknowingly, have we compromised upon in order to prioritize the other kind of wealth? And then maybe even reflect what if we reversed the priority order of those wealths? What will be the cost price that we'll need to pay in order to reverse the prioritization of those wealth factors? And the other thing that we can reflect upon is how many of us were actually taught explicitly about these five kinds of wealths. And in my personal understanding, if I had to add something to it, I'd even add knowledge and wisdom to the list of the wealth. And is there some other kind of wealth that we are missing out on that has not been addressed onto this list? So let's take out the time to once again reflect on those few aspects of wealth, on how have we and why have we prioritized a few kinds of wealth. What benefits did the prioritization of those particular wealth or wealths give us? And in prioritization of those, what did it take away from us? And if we were to shift and reshuffle some of those aspects of wealth in our life, what would our life look like? And what will it also cost us to shift and reshuffle and reprioritize different aspects of wealth? Let's try and reflect on that, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.